I learn from doing. 90% of what you do, you remember. And even that's for people that are very academic.
You don't need to be academic. There's always something out there for you. And perhaps it's just about careers advice, and perhaps it's just about understanding and knowing what it is actually out there.
If I was to say anything to anybody struggling, you're never going to know at 16 or 18 what you want to do forever.
My mantra is always go in the direction that lights you up, because 8 hours a day is a long time of your day to be in the dark or to be going somewhere where you're not happy or you're not content.
Definitely. And mine is, you deserve to be happy. It's the one thing in life that you absolutely deserve.
Yeah, 100%. This is Calderdale College, and this is the Calderdale College's Expert Lounge. This is where we invite people from the world of work who we know and have a relationship with into the college to talk to us about their life, their career history, and any pearly words of wisdom that you can give to anybody out there.
I can try.
So I'm Becca, you know me, Programme Manager here at Calderdale College. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself to begin with as a sort of as an introduction? Who are you, for example?
Who am I? Well, I'm Caren Reid and I'm from Calderdale and Huddersfield NHS Trust, as you know, and I'm the lead clinical skills and simulation technician.
Good Lord, what does that mean?
So I look after all the simulation training within the trust. So I'll build the courses with the faculty, because I'm not medical, I'm not clinical. So, but I know simulation, I know what our mannequins are capable of doing, you know, what we can, which would be the best to use, all those sorts of things. So I tend to work alongside the medics. It's usually a doctor. Nurses do run some, but it's usually a doctor.
Now, I'm a woman of a certain age, and when you say the word mannequin to me, I think of a certain 1980s film, Mannequin. No. What are mannequins and what's the simulation centre?
Probably what you're thinking about is mannequins, which is like your the dolls that they have in windows in shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
These are mannequins. And I get very, very protective over it when they call them mannequins or dolls. Yes. But they're full life sized mannequins. So we've got men, we've got women, we've got children, we've got babies. But they're not just a mannequin, which does nothing apart from poses. They've got internals in them that allows them to be able to react as if a normal patient would. So each mannequin has eyes, it has pupils. Some of them react to lights, like when they shine the lights in your eyes at the doctors or in the hospital, their pupils react. We can have them sweat, snot, dribble, cry.
Oh my gosh.
They've got their chest rises and falls. We get heart sounds, lung sounds, bowel sounds. They can be catheterised, so if they can't wee on their own, we can help them. They do pretty much everything apart from they don't get up and walk around, although we do find very mucky feet. So make of that what you will.
The mannequins have little parties.
They have, one of the girl mannequins has actually got green stains on her feet, like she's been out playing in the grass. So
that's hilarious.
Maybe they do come alive.
So set the scene for me. A simulation centre, a simulation room or an immersive room or whatever. What is it exactly though? So where are these mannequins and how are they used?
They're used in a variety of different ways. The two main ways that they're used is either in the sim suite. So the sim suite that we've got at Huddersfield and we will soon have in Calderdale is a 2-bedded ward. So it's set out exactly the same as all our other wards. Every bit of kit is the same as it is throughout the hospital. But none of the oxygen is real or, you know, it's just simulated. So that we'll have the mannequins in the beds and we have a 2-way mirror that we can sit behind to drive, what we call drive the mannequins. And all the mannequins are 3G connected. So there's no wires unless we need to charge them up. The batteries will run a bit dry. And we just run a scenario or scenarios of real happenings. So it might be that something has happened and they'd like to just go over it again, see if they could have done things differently. Or it may be what they call a never event, which doesn't happen very frequently. Some staff might never see it in their whole careers. But if they do, It's not something that they're used to dealing with, so they practice with them. Sometimes it's a training course, so there'll be things that a doctor or a nurse has to tick off, be assessed and tick off as being competent to do. So they'll do that in the sim suite. Then we have what we call in situ, which is where we take the mannequin to the ward or department or the area. We've done it in A&E, in theatres, in acute medicine floors, paediatric floors, recovery. We've been everywhere really with mannequins. And it might be that we go in and we don't tell them we've gone in, we sneak the mannequin in and they don't know till we pull an alarm or shout for help, or they'll come in and notice a mannequin. At times we've done it and it's been that realistic. They've not even noticed it was a mannequin because there's usually so many people around the bed. They're just getting the feedback from the patient monitor or their colleagues calling things out. But yeah, they're very, very intense and very, very good. I do love an in situ.
So it sounds like like the emergency services and people like that, don't they? They run simulations in the street, for example, the
fire brigade do it quite a lot along with like the ambulance, and so they'll have some simulated patients, which is actors, and then some simulation mannequins for the more poorly. It's like we run a course for our IMT doctors and they have to complete this course to carry on through their training. And we put in an extra bed in the ward because they have to deal with 3 patients. So 2 will be actors and the third one will be the mannequin, because that's the one that's ultimately is really, really, really ill. And we can't, we can have some very good actors, but they can't be really, really, really ill. Yeah. So that's how we run that course, and they have to prioritise and they have to put up with patients that are getting a bit narky because they want to go home, or relatives that just come in, and so it's giving them an awful lot to think about with all these patients to care for at one time.
That sounds fantastic. That sounds like a really engaging and absolutely immersive experience and way to learn.
Yep, definitely.
How on earth did you get into that?
Purely by accident and being in the right place at the right time, really. I'd worked for the trust before we moved abroad for a short period, for 8 years. Not doing anything like this, I hasten to add. I was a team leader in the training department, and then I worked on reception in the learning and development department where I am now. When I come back to England, I wanted something back in the trust, was my hoping. So while I was looking through all the jobs, this one popped out. I'm like, that sounds great. I had no idea what it was. Yeah. Researched it as best I could, applied, got an interview. And I say it's one time that my gob got me somewhere. Because, I just talked. I think I talked him to death and they submitted and gave me the job. So I was one of the first technicians in the UK. So the people interviewing me didn't really know what they want or needed from the job. But they sort of knew that they needed someone that was happy to talk to people, to go out there and sell, because it was also new, sell the training and the use of the equipment to people, or, talk to people about what they want.
So we just recently, as a college, did a project that you guys graciously allowed us access to your magnificent sim centre and your sim suite. So our students, T-level students, and some of our transition group students reenacted some scenarios from their career pathways and their curriculum pathways in the simulation suite as part of a project using VR as well, scenarios as well as simulation scenarios. I just found it absolutely amazing how alive and awake and engaged the students became.
They were fantastic, weren't they?
They were just brilliant. But that's because they were put into a real life scenario. Yeah. So it's a ward for all intents and purposes. You go into a hospital, you go down into the bowels of the hospital, and you walk into this ward, and there are 2 beds and there are 2 mannequins, Bing and Dickie, that was it. And you have your amazing technician, Lucas, in the background, sort of putting in, sort of like, I don't know, something wrong, heart rate's gone down, pulse has gone up, pupils are dilating. These mannequins can speak, etc. And I just found it an absolutely amazing situation for the students. What do you think the students got out of it from your observer perspective when you were watching them?
I think, as I always do with simulation, is that they're getting something back from it. It's not just sat learning the text, looking at pictures and diagrams, and they're getting the feedback from it. So it just kicks in with them. If they're wanting a career in care, that it's already in them. I think, sorry, you don't go into this unless you want to help other people. So when they're getting the feedback that this person's not very well, or it's just like natural to them. It just kicks in, and they want to help. They'll go over and talk to him, or just hold his hand. It's just, I was really, really impressed, especially when we let him do a bit of compressions on the chest, and one of the young lads, his best compressions I've ever seen.
Yes, I know who you're talking about there. Yeah, the CPR,
because we get feedback from the computer you're driving it on. And Lucas took it in and showed them, so you get feedback, so you can see that the depth and the rate and where they've got the hands is spot on, because bad compressions
don't do anything.
At all. So, and one of the young lads that did it was amazing. It was really good.
But that's the thing, though, because it was hands-on, and because they had actually completed their scenarios as part of their level 2 transition. This was the transition group, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As part of their level 2 transition group, a little bit of the scenario from their curriculum content, they were ready to go on to something different, and they were ready to do the next level up in a really short space of time.
Yeah,
which absolutely fascinated me.
But I think, I particularly am someone that learns from doing.
Yeah.
You sit me in a lecture theatre, and no matter how much I'm enjoying them lectures, my eyes want to close, start yawning, and I can't stop it. It's just who I am. Have to be doing. So, and I learn from doing. I mean, they say Dale's,
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, it's 90% of what you do, you remember.
Yeah.
And even that's for people that are very academic and, they can read 1 million books in a week and take a lot of it in. They don't take in as much as when they actually do something. Because you're using more of your senses. You're looking at what you're doing, you're feeling what you're doing, your body's moving to what you're doing. It brings it all together, I think, and for your students that they were learning about it. But then it was all together in one place there. They had a patient that they could deal with.
Yeah.
So
in a real situation, in a real hospital environment.
Yeah, it felt realistic to them.
Yeah. And another thing that I found really fascinating was the interaction. So it was the peer-to-peer support. So at one stage we had their peers. So you had to have a couple of people working on the mannequin and with the patient.
Yeah.
And then a couple of people programming in on the computer different things that they had to pick up.
Yeah.
And then you had the feedback between the two sets. So the debrief is a massive part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain a wee bit more about that?
Yeah. So we tend to say we should be doing as much, if not more time on a debrief than we do on the actual scenario itself. And we do tend to do a lot of peer debrief. So you'll find it happens. They'll just naturally that they'll be like, oh, that was really good. I wouldn't have thought to do that. Or so it reinforces what they've done really well, and at the same time they're teaching their colleagues stuff that they might never have known. But and a lot of the stuff that they do is especially in simulation, it's not all about clinical hands-on skills. A lot of it is about your non-technical skills, your soft skills, so communication, and it's teaching them that that's what they've just done.
Yeah. It's reflective, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of the debrief is unpicking what they've done, looking at how they've done it, why they've done it, and how that works best for the team. So debrief is
and it's immediate,
fundamental.
Yeah. No, definitely. So talk us about, because this podcast is all about careers and careers to where you are now and how you got here and little handy tips, etc., for people out there.
Yeah.
So did you go to university, for example?
No.
Did you go to college?
Not really. I came to this college many, 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 many years ago. It was a lot smaller then, for a short time. But it was art and design that I was doing. It wasn't, I mean, it's very similar along with moulage and that, but that's what I originally came for. But I'm not academic. I left school with very minimal standard GCSEs. I didn't particularly like school because, again, it was all sitting, listening, writing, learning. It's not for me. I'm a doer.
Yeah.
And went through life just doing jobs until I got this job, and this was like I found my place.
Fantastic. Yeah. What was it? What
about the job?
Yeah.
It just every day is different. Every single day is different. Every course is different. We run courses on a regular basis, but never do we have the course the same anytime we've run it because we have different people.
Yeah.
We have people coming from outside our trust, outside the area. And I just love it. I love the feeling of going in situ, particularly because I love in situ, as I said, but going in situ. I've designed and put together some moulage kit to try and make it a bit more realistic. Moulage. That's the art of makeup for media, usually. So it's when they have the black eyes or the cuts, the bruises, burns.
So I think special effects.
Special effect type things, yeah. So it may be once over, when we first started running some maternity scenarios in situ. So they wanted to go into theatres and do a concealed hemorrhage, so a concealed bleed. But the lady birthing mannequin we had at that time, she was wired here, there and everywhere. As time's gone on, they've got better and better. So she wasn't one that we could move because they wanted to go from recoveries back into theatres when she started, when they found the bleed. But you'd have had to stop, unplug everything, move her, plug it all back in again, start again. So I said, well, use Sim Man and I'll make him a uterus so they can feel for the bugger uterus and I'll make him bleed. So then I had to work out how I was going to do all this. But I really love that. I love finding a way to make it happen. And it was absolutely fantastic scenario. There was, I think, 30 people in the theatre by the end of it. I'd made it so they could actually cut his skin open and start suturing it back again.
Wow.
So the surgeons had something to do while they were on the operating theatre. Bled like you wouldn't believe. It was all dripping on the floor. It was just so realistic. And at the end of it, the staff said, I forgot that was a scenario.
Wow.
I got so into it. And even the lead for it that was stood watching it said I desperately wanted to get in and help. It felt so real. And I'm like, yeah, job done.
Yeah. Done. I'm not surprised you really enjoy it then.
Yeah, it's great. It really is. When you've got everyone saying that felt so real, or they come out, because a lot of people are like, oh, I hate role play, I don't want to do it, And I'm pretty much the same. I can see where they're coming from. But when they go in, because healthcare people have this thing about them, it's really weird. Like I said, that like when your guys went into the sim suite for that first time, something clicks and they just go into help mode, sorting mode, caring mode, and they totally forget it's a mannequin. So when they come out and say, God, I forgot it was a mannequin, or when you've sent them in and they didn't want to go in, they come out and they go, oh, God, that was so good. I'm so glad I did that. We're doing another one. You know, that's just fabulous.
Do you know what, as well, what I'm hearing is that you don't need to be academic. There's always something out there for you. And perhaps it's just about careers advice, and perhaps it's just about understanding and knowing what it is actually out there.
Yeah.
What kinds of jobs that aren't normal, you know, aren't the mainstream.
It's like I wouldn't have looked for this job.
Yeah.
You know, but if I was to say anything to anybody struggling, you're never going to know at 16 or 18 what you want to do forever. I mean, some people do. Some people, it's just what they want to do. But mostly you're not going to know. It's just do stuff, enjoy stuff, and then keep looking. Eventually you'll find that one thing that makes you happy. It's like that advert on telly, innit, where the mum says to the son, if you're happy in work, you'll never feel like you've done a day's work in your life.
Don't know that one, but that is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's kind of like an extension of you, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Well, if you found the right thing for you, it feels just like an extension of your personality. It just feels like you're just doing something you're ordinarily going to be doing anyway, almost.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. People find it very odd what I do, but not the people that know me.
Yes, no comment. I just think as well it's fantastic because somebody who perhaps, let's say, mainstream education didn't suit, because it's not that you're not academic, it's that mainstream education didn't suit. You wrote, did you not, the technician apprenticeship?
I helped, yes. Yeah, I mean, the things that I have done and can do now, I would never have dreamed I could. Presentations, one of which you made me do. I don't like them. I'm a very behind-the-scenes kind of person, like this isn't really in my comfort zone. When I said earlier was gobby, that's like on a one-to-one or a little group basis, standing in front of a lecture theatre and giving a presentation or a lecture is definitely not my thing. But I've done that. I was on the ASFI exec board committee, designing escape rooms, assessing and putting people onto the ASFI as technicians, stuff that I would never, ever have thought I could or would ever do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm rather proud of myself.
As you should be.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying myself more importantly.
Yeah.
I don't get up in the morning and go, work. Just don't
Life's
do
too
it.
short.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, life is so short and so precious. I always, my mantra is always go in the direction that lights you up. And if that direction or the direction you're currently going in isn't lighting you up, well, then you need to change focus and find whatever it is that does light you up. Because 8 hours a day is a long time of your day to be in the dark or to be going somewhere where you're not happy or you're not content.
Definitely. And mine is, you deserve to be happy. That's the one thing in life that you absolutely deserve.
Yeah, 100%. So with that in mind, you got you send yourself a text back to when you were a teenager. Mm-hmm. What would it be?
We didn't have texts then.
Yeah, you see, I knew it. That's exactly what I said. So we've been asked to say this. We've been asked to say this question. Yeah. However, if one had text messages, if one had mobile phones back in our day, what text message would you send yourself? And I'm not on about just for career. We can split it. It can be career, but it can be anything. Have a ponder, have a think.
I think, actually, it would be along the lines in, it doesn't matter, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, wherever you go, don't get too caught up in it all.
That is so funny.
Keep smiling.
Did
you say the same?
Similar. I said have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. It's all going to be fine. It will all work out. As long as you're having fun, you're on the right path.
Definitely as you get older.
Yeah.
That you learn that there's no point getting stressed about anything. Just get a few more wrinkles.
No. Yeah.
I'm not liking them anyway.
Oh, no. But it's also, just before we came on air, we were talking about the random jobs that we've had. And I think all of those random curveball, really obscure or whatever kind of jobs, those little things that you do just to make ends meet. For me, it was to make myself go through university or to help out my mum and dad, that kind of thing. Yeah. Give me your top 3 curveball random jobs.
Cleaning in Sainsbury's when it was at the bottom of town, and they asked me to bring a toothbrush in to clean the stand-on mat, that opens the doors, and to climb under the tills. That's when I left cleaning at Sainsbury's.
You had to take your own toothbrush.
I said, no, don't you give me one for it? And they said, oh, no, you have to bring it in.
They have a whole shelf of toothbrushes.
It's not Sainsbury's you work for, it's a cleaning company.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I did get a job working in a frozen food shop, but I wasn't starting for a while. And when I got there, turned it to a cafe. That was quite an odd job.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So you go for a frozen food shop.
Yeah, just as a shop assistant, and then I become a waitress.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. That's random. Yeah.
Yeah. And dog biscuit packing factory.
Oh, everyone's had a packing job. Oh, it's great.
We had, and one of the girls, when you did the bird feed upstairs, there was a girl that just walked up and down behind you with a shovel.
What, collecting all the bits that...
No, to kill any of the stuff that come out of the boxes. No. Like big spiders or... Yeah.
Oh, no, I was thinking rats.
Didn't see a rat there, no. No, but like they come from abroad, so there'd be like some very big furry spiders and weird bugs. And yeah, she just walked up and down with this shovel thing to whack them.
Oh, yeah.
So quite varied.
But these are the jobs, I think, that make you.
Yeah, of course they do.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you turn your hand to anything.
Yeah.
And you can do anything and never be embarrassed.
No.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed of the fact
you're earning money.
Exactly.
I'd be embarrassed if I didn't try to earn money.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And they all teach you anything, things down the line anyway, like communication or keeping time and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And what bugs not to touch.
Yeah. How to use a shovel.
Yeah. The right way.
Yeah, the right way. Is there a wrong way?
Well, that'd be the wrong way. Whacking something in it rather than digging.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not much of a gardener.
So I just got... Anyway, no, moving on. Mental image of you using a shovel. So going back to the NHS, of which you work for, we've heard now that there is a sim technician role that's there that people probably didn't have a clue was part of the NHS.
Yeah.
What other kind of career opportunities are there? Because I bet you there are vast. Because, the NHS is one of our main anchor institutions, isn't it, in Calderdale?
Yeah, well, it's
one of the main
employer
employers
in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's everything and anything. There's drivers, there's seamstresses, medical engineers, so they look after all the equipment. The training we've got like device trainers, medical device trainers. If you think there's hundreds and hundreds of medical devices, so all staff have to be trained on a new one when they come out. There's all your normal that everybody thinks of in hospital, doctors, nurses, ODPs, which are operating department practitioners. That was hard to get out of. Physios, dietitians, speech and language therapists. There's the porters, security, domestics, admin for everything, because nothing works without some admin behind it. Poor old admin guys get left out a lot, but they're very, very important. Obviously, your secretaries, just anything really.
It's like
can
a beast,
think
isn't
of.
it? It's a massive beast.
Yeah, but just to keep it running, there's advisors, there's like patient advisors.
And there's pastors as well, isn't there? And counsellors.
There's counsellors. There is like vicars. There'll be pastors from every kind of religion going. I think we've probably got about 6 to be there for, if somebody's in hospital and needs someone from their religion to look after them, then we've got them.
Yeah.
We're very good.
You are very good. And I think it's very good that you've found your vocation. Let's call it a vocation, because it is, isn't it?
I always said, I had my children quite young as well. So I always used to say, I worked in insurance for 10 years, forgot to mention that, didn't I? As a fleet assistant. And I quite liked that job. But I'd had the kids younger, so I always said my career was really being a mum, and the rest was just earning money to make it a better job, so I could buy him things and that. But till I found this job, and to say that I was an academic, I went and did a pilot of an apprenticeship when I had the job already, because I thought, I don't want some young kid coming up with more qualifications than me, so I went and did that, and it was a nightmare, BTEC and an NVQ, and It was just so much hard work, and I was on my own at that time covering both sites. I didn't have Lucas then, so it was a lot of work, but it was worth it because, you know, I wanted to prove and have. And I went on to do my professional registration with ASFE. So
ASFE is what? ASFE, what is that?
It's
Association
Simulating in Health Practice.
Yeah.
That's it. Go. I have that many acronyms. We have like ASCME and FAMOUS and SHOCK, and these are all just courses. They're just
But that's in any profession, isn't it?
Especially in the medic profession, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I went for that. So now I'm professional registered with letters after my name, and that was never going to happen for me.
Congratulations and well done.
It's quite some time ago I did that now, I think 6-7 years. And I do keep saying I'm going to go for the next one, which is a registered scientist instead of a registered science technician. I have started it, but it's been so busy. Maybe when I'm off with my knee, I'll pick it up again and do that. So I'll move up a ladder on my professional registration.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, it just goes to show, doesn't it? You find the right thing for you and you get the passion for it. And then you've got a will to actually learn it and to progress.
I would never have done anything like that before this job.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
But now I want to be recognised for the job that I do and how good I do it. And, you know, that's one of the ways to say, look at me.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working in the sort of environment where I do, where everybody has been to uni.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
But there are so many different pathways in.
There are. Yeah. And I still wouldn't want to go to uni. That's not who I am. But these little bits that I can sort of put up on my door and say, Caren Reid. Registered scientist.
Oh, that would be absolutely fantastic with all your little letters.
Yeah.
So what's next for you then apart from that? You were talking a bit on about a new site or something in Calderdale.
Yes,
at Calderdale Hospital.
Yeah, they're extending Calderdale Royal Hospital. Very much involved in the design and layout of the Sim Suite. Learned by mistakes from the one we have in Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Huddersfield was a bit harder because we just had a room we had to convert, whereas here they're building it, so we're getting from scratch. So it's going to be bigger. It's going to be 4 bays, which is really good, and it will split, so we can run 2 different training sessions at the same time. So it'll split down to two bays, two bays, so we can run more scenarios if we want. Like sometimes they'll just want to run a little bit of a scenario where it's not over technical, at the same time as we're running a smaller but more technical scenario. So we'll still be able to do that. So hopefully we'll be able to offer more.
Yeah. Oh, how exciting.
I know.
So I alluded earlier on about the project, the funded project, where we brought some of our students in. So it was NCFE funded, as you know.
Yep.
And we're going to look for a phase 2 funding to extend it. It's just all the research side of the fence at the moment's just been written up and analysed, etc. What do you see, from your perspective, the best way to go into a phase 2 of the project, if you see what I mean, after the experience you had with our students coming in? Is it just more of the same, coming in, doing scenarios, doing assessment, or...?
Yeah, maybe. Might be quite nice to maybe see if we can bring them in to some of the training that we do. Because we did have a chat about bringing them in to act as simulated patients.
That would be brilliant, yeah.
Which is really good. It's good for them because they're going to see how the training for the medics or for the nursing staff go ahead and be part of it. They'll be totally immersed in. Plus, they'll get to see from the patient's point of view because they'll be playing a patient.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that'd be quite good. Or even if not that, maybe small groups just come and watch and observe the training that we do. I think it'd be really quite good for them because it'll be more advanced to what they're doing.
Yeah, whet their appetite a wee bit.
Yeah, you might find that some of them go, hang on a minute, actually, I'd actually like to go to uni and be a nurse, or I'd like to go to medical school and be a doctor. You never know.
Yeah. Why was it important for you to be part of the project when you got this random email from this random girl called Rebecca?
Crazy bird.
Hello.
Yeah. Because, I got my role just by accident because I come in and applied for it because it was there when I was looking for a job, not looking for that job. So I think it's good for them to be able to go and see things. Like I said, they might decide they don't want to be a healthcare assistant. They might decide, but from any scenario that they've watched, they might want to be a physio.
Yeah.
It just opens it up for them a bit.
Yeah.
And then obviously some of them are going to be our workforce of the future.
Yeah.
So get them in there early, get them started early. You can never see or learn too much. Experience is wonderful. And we've learned that from, doing the years.
Yeah.
But if there's ways to give youngsters more experience while they're still young and young to soak it up, then I'm all for that.
Yeah, and we're really grateful for you to come on board.